Welcome to Speedworld Brook Kart Circuit in Austria for the final round of the Central and Eastern European Rotax Max Challenge, where Austria's Peter Huber, driving kart 366, has qualified on pole for the junior pre-final. His time of 49.972 seconds was just 34 thousandths quicker than fellow Austrian Thomas Preining in kart 310. Thomas arrives here as championship leader. The 323 kart of Ferdinand Habsburg was only fractionally slower, and he'll line up third on the grid, while Poland's Kapka Belecki completes the second row of the grid and will start fourth in the 346 kart. One of Thomas Preining's closest rivals for the championship is Austrian driver Max Hofer. He'll be looking to close the points gap by beating Preining in the pre-final, but he's got work to do from fifth on the grid. Konstantin Scholl completes the top six in kart 306. We're all set for 14 laps around this 1.1 kilometre long circuit here in the heart of Austria. Peter Huber leads the pack into turn one, but straight away the officials declare that a full start. Let's try again. Here they come, but the pack still isn't tightly bunched together. A real disadvantage to those further down the grid, and it's another full start. They're still not bunched together very well, but the starter lets it go this time, and the race gets underway with Peter Huber taking the lead, and a spinner. That's Ferdinand Habsburg from third on the grid, and he's taken Kapka Belecki with him. Here's the replay, and look, 310, Thomas Preining ran into the back of Habsburg. That sends him into a spin, and Belecki has nowhere to go. Both drivers off at the very first corner. Back on track, we've got Max Hofer now into the lead, and that's Peter Huber with his arm in the air. The pole sitter has slipped to about fifth place, so what's all that about? Has he got a problem, or maybe he thinks it's another full start? Not sure. Either way, the arm goes back down, and the race is definitely continuing, and now Huber loses another place, his arm aloft again. So quite a bit of confusion at the start of this junior Rotax pre-final, and it's quickly turning into a disaster for Huber in the 366 kart. From pole, he's now down to sixth place. More disastrous though for Ferdinand Habsburg and Kapka Belecki, both dumped into the gravel trap at turn one after qualifying on the second row of the grid. And you have to say that questions will be asked about Thomas Preining's role in all of that. So at the end of a controversial first lap, it's Max Hofer who leads. Thomas Preining is second, then it's 319, Mick Vishofer in third place, and that's a real result for Vishofer because he started back in eighth on the grid. Here's some overtaking, and it's the white kart of 307, Tamas Ronai, moving ahead of 318, Victoria Pankiewicz. 312, Nicky Kress gets stuck in and now outdrives the pair of them to move into ninth place. Ronai almost losing it, a nervous moment for the former Hungarian Minimax champion. And look at this, the battle for the lead has suddenly come alive with Thomas Preining right on the tail of race leader Max Hofer. Preining is the championship leader, Hofer is third in the standings, and Preining goes for the move down the inside. They're absolutely wheel to wheel, but Hofer holds on to the race lead. Determined driving from Hofer. He knows that realistically he needs to beat Preining to keep his title hopes alive. But here he comes again, and this time Preining finds a way through. And look, 319, Mick Vishofer has caught them both up, and now he moves into second place. So this is getting interesting because we've got championship leader Thomas Preining at the head of the field with two of his closest championship rivals, Vishofer and Hofer, now running second and third. Here's 333, Daniel Bender, and 331, Evelyn Kell, both squeezing past 329, Julia Pankiewicz. But Julia is trying to fight back now around the outside. Contact, and Pankiewicz is sent into a spin and backwards into the barriers. Only a fairly gentle impact with the barriers, thankfully, so Julia will be absolutely fine physically. Though of course she'll be very disappointed with that. Here's 323, Ferdinand Habsburg, back on track after that first corner incident. The Austrian trying to find his way back through the field, and a couple of places behind him. That's a rather unusual shaped kart. It's 322, Karol Urbaniak, with the rear bumper hanging off, and unless it works itself loose, I fear that the officials might bring out the black and orange flag and ask Karol to leave the circuit, as that's potentially quite dangerous. As 333, Daniel Bender sweeps past Urbaniak, runs out of road, and then bumps and bounces off track just to make life even more uncomfortable. On to lap 7, Preining leads from Vishofer and Hofer, who are still absolutely nose to tail as they fly through turn 1. Florian Wiesinger is up to 4th, Peter Huber is 5th, and there's a change for 6th. There's 301, Vince Herksik got past 306, Konstantin Scholl. Crucial championship points up for grabs as the battle for second place heads back towards us. And now Max Hofer launches one up the inside, gets his nose in front, but runs wide on the exit. And now Vishofer comes back at him and should now have enough momentum to get the position back. So Mick Vishofer, the current Hungarian champion in the Minimax class, manages to retain his second place for now. But all the time, they're being reeled in by the 371 kart of Florian Wiesinger, the driver who comes into this weekend second in the championship. They head towards the hairpin on this, the 9th lap of the race, and Hoffer dives down the inside of Wieshofer. Florian Wiesinger follows him through, and they both get past to put Mick Wieshofer in the 319 kart back down to 4th place. Also catching them up again is the 366 kart of poleman Peder Huber. We've also got 301 Vince Herczig, the 2011 Hungarian junior Rotax champion, onto the back of that group now, as Huber moves ahead of Wieshofer to snatch 4th place. In the space of about 20 seconds, Wieshofer has dropped from 2nd to 5th, but now he's turning the tables. A good move to put him ahead of Huber and back up to 4th place. Worth pointing out also that there's only 1 point between this pair in the championship, with Wieshofer and Huber 4th and 5th in the standings, as now Herczig makes a move. They both run wide, and 306 Konstantin Scholl overtakes them both on the exit to the corner. This is not quite turning into the race that Peder Huber envisaged when he qualified on pole this morning. Thomas Preining extends his lead, and now it's Max Hoffer 2nd, Florian Wiesinger 3rd, Mick Wieshofer 4th, and then this 3-way fight for 5th place, with Peder Huber retaking Konstantin Scholl on the way into turn 1. Just behind them in 7th is Vince Herczig. And what's this? Contact! One driver sent into a spin, and that's 333. Daniel Bender pointing in the wrong direction after some wheel banging with the 318 kart of Victoria Pankiewicz. Looked like he was trying to go around the outside and just got clipped as he came back onto the racing line. Meanwhile, the leaders head on to the final lap, Preining just over a second clear of Hoffer and Wiesinger. Then Wieshofer is 4th, but he now comes under attack from Peder Huber. Huber gets through, but slips wide through the apex, and Wieshofer is able to come straight back at him. But they're almost out of time now, just a few corners to go. Right from the very beginning, this has been another action-packed and highly entertaining race from the juniors in this Central and Eastern European Rotax Max Challenge. But there's no stopping Thomas Preining as he heads towards the checkered flag and moves another step closer to sealing the championship title. Hoffer finishes 2nd, with Wiesinger 3rd and Peder Huber in 4th.